Hello everyone, it's Kay again. Come back to talk some more about the Raining Cats and Dogs papers and all the embellishments and so on. I've left these all pretty much out so that you can see again what an absolute delight this paper stack and paper range is, with all the embellishments, backing papers and all that kind of thing. I have to say the Graphic45 papers, I think, as versatile as they are, particularly lend themselves to mini albums, scrapbooking sheets and that kind of thing. From what I've seen online and on YouTube, this tends to be what these paper pads are used for. But you know, clearly they can be used for any project that you care to mention. It's just they do lend themselves beautifully by virtue of everything that you find within the paper pad, the cutouts and so on and so forth. You really do have a fantastic range of embellishments and so on to work with. Again, this is what I was sent by Handy Hippo, so this is very much sponsored by Handy Hippo Crafts online. Do go along and check them out. They keep all the G45, Graphic45 papers and embellishments, cutouts, pockets, everything you can think of. It's all there at a very good price with very reasonable postage. Okay, the second album I've done, and again it is something that I have never ever done before, but came across it whilst checking out some albums on YouTube prior to using this beautiful combination of papers and things, and I came across a lady called Jackie Chimes. Now the video that she put up is nearly 3 years old, but I think it's as valid today as it was when she put it online. And basically you start out making from chipboard or your favourite cereal box. I put this together first just to make sure that I had the basics where they needed to be, and as you look at this up front, when it's all put together, it actually looks like a box. This is an inch in depth. You can make it narrower or wider if you so desire. This would be then the back of the box. The difference I made when I did mine was that I added another piece of card on the back here, purely to hide all the workings. That's me, that's how I like to do things. And then you open up the top. It's up to you what kind of clasp you use. Take down the bottom and then open it up like a book. I think I've got it upside down. And then you take in and open up the second part, which then brings you through to the centre of the album. So that gives you several areas that you need to decorate, several areas that can be used for whatever you care to embellish the album with. And when it's all closed up and done and dusted, you're left with your box again. Now Jackie actually sealed the box by using ribbons. Clearly you could use magnets, you could use a couple of buttons and wind baker twine around. It is entirely up to you. Using the Graphic45 papers, this is what I've actually come up with. It is simplicity itself. It lent itself beautifully to all these beautiful embellishments. This is the really superior cutouts, the chipboard cutouts with the design on. I've used one down the bottom here, Raining Cats and Dogs, just to slot my lid into. I've just covered the top and the bottom with the same paper, flipped what was left of the paper over and used my punch to do the scalloped edge there, Martha Stewart punch, and then around all the edges, as you can see, I've just lined it with the paper to keep everything together and looking finished. Then when you open it, oops, this is the top and the bottom, and I've tried to separate the cats and the dogs, so I didn't want them fighting, but I've got a tag up here anchored down with a brad and a couple of tags with the little stamps on them. You could journal, you could put a little miniature photograph of your furry friend on the back. So there are 2 of those in there. You can also move this around and do a bit of journaling here if you want to. And then a couple more of the stamps just to finish that off. The same down at the bottom here, but I've used the cats instead of the dogs. These stamps up here are stuck down, but the little cat one down here, you can put a little something underneath if you want to. I've used the center opening pages, stuck these down, but I've only stuck them down at one edge. So if you wanted to, you could slot photographs or some memorabilia underneath the little stamps here. You open it up, and I've made some belly bands and some journaling or photo mats. This is just a little flower. I've left it open so you can actually tuck something underneath it and it will stay there quite nicely. I've tried to keep the colours pretty much unified. I'm a bit like that. I like things to be in order, if that makes sense, in my kind of order, we'll say. There are, oh, that one's stuck, oh crikey, I'm going to have to release that, oh there we go, release that very carefully. Again, 2 larger mats than the other side, and again you can put cards on them or put some journaling on it. It really is entirely up to the recipient. To cover all the edges, I've just added these papers here, so it looks as though every piece of the album is filled. I'll just slot that one back in. On the front here, more stamps, not entirely anchored, that you can put little bits and pieces under. Another tag that's fixed with a brad that allows movement. Always a good idea if you wanted to hide a date away or something like that that was special to you, perhaps your pet's date of birth, whatever. It's all open to interpretation. You pull that flat back. I've put this little black bit here because I wanted to hide the legs of the brad. I didn't want anyone having any problem with sticking themselves with the legs of the brad. This then opens again. This is just a little book. Again, you can journal, put photographs in it. It is entirely up to the person that you end up giving this to. You open it up, and I've left this open to slot little bits and pieces in. Open again, and these 2 pockets, one cool cat and a dog, day, afternoon. And within the belly bands there, which I've used the umbrella paper for, I've just put a whole stack of these beautiful, beautiful postcards and pictures. I've left them plain on the back. Backed a couple of the smaller pieces onto plain card so that they could be utilised in whatever way, and they slot under that belly band absolutely beautifully and just keep it all together. And on the other side it's all about cats. A couple of the larger pictures, postcard, and again a couple of little tags that you can just do what you like with, really. A little bit of journaling there, put a picture on the back, it's entirely up to the recipient. And those then sit under that little belly band there. I think you'll agree the colours just all blend as they're supposed to do. This is the joy of Graphics45. You don't have to sit thinking, oh my gosh, I need a colour that will blend with that, or can I put this with this. In the pad and in the backing papers, it's all done for you, and you know jolly well it's all going to marry up, because that's what Graphic45 are all about. In the centre here, I've just put this larger tag. I've not sealed it all the way around, so little bits and pieces can actually be added here and there if they're required, or you could put some little pictures of your best furry friend all the way around and just dedicate it to them. Really, it's very much a personal choice. And again, there's room down here to perhaps put the dog's date of birth or memories of significant photographs. So I hope you like what I've done here. It was an absolute pleasure to work on, and like I say, considering I've never made anything like this before, as a first project, I am absolutely over the moon with how it came out. And just to show you the bit on the back, it did pay to put the extra card over the back to seal the workings of the pages that have to be held together. And then again, it just looks very, very finished, and hopefully whoever received it would be very delighted. So thank you once again for sharing this with me. I hope it inspires you to have a go at one of these yourself. Given the opportunity, I will probably come back and go through the base with you bit by bit with all the current measurements and everything if you don't find Jackie's channel, and you can then have a go at this yourself. So thank you very much for watching. Happy crafting. Take care. Bye bye.